Party of 2, règle 10 ouais.
Bonjour, niggas.
Bonjour, people. We're much better this week.
What's wrong? What
We
happened?
we missed last week's episode because we were under the weather.
You mean you got us sick?
I did get us sick. I suspect the the I suspect patient zero is a toddler who shall not be named, but I think that's patient zero. I'm pretty sure the event happened at that cookout that I went to on Sunday, Memorial Day Sunday weekend. So yeah, definitely feeling better though now.
That's good, babes.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry I got you sick though.
Yes, I got arthritis in my pinky toe.
What?
Arthritis in my pinky toe.
Is that a movie reference?
No.
Oh, you really feel like you have arthritis in your pinky toe?
It's one of the symptoms of the sickness that you gave me.
Okay,
The cold.
I didn't have that, but anywho, um, well, during our recovery time, we took time to binge watch a series about young love. We actually had planned to do a review, which we'll do actually next week, but we had initially planned to review um Forever, or excuse me, I'm sorry, no, a comedy special that was more about mature love, but binge watch worthy.
Boo.
We'll talk about it next week. But binge watch worthy. There's Forever was a series that was trending just a couple of weeks ago. It's starring Lovey Simone. She plays a character by the name of Keisha Clark. I'm sure you guys recognize her from if you ever watched that series with Lynn Whitfield, Greenleaf. It used to come on OWN. That was my shit. I did enjoy Greenleaf. And a young man who I don't believe I've ever seen in anything. His name is Michael Cooper Jr. That was her love interest, and the series focused on the two of them as young teenagers. And the mom's name is Karen Pittman. She was playing Justin's mom, the character Justin's mom. And she's got one of those faces where I'm like, I've seen that black lady in plenty of stuff before, but I could not remember as I was watching where I really, really knew her from. Um, and you know how niggas do. We like to be like, that's so and so from blah blah blah. For me, where I've recently seen her is just like that. I have been watching that series, which is a continuation of Sex in the City.
And so for the rest of America,
Wow.
I want to say Marvel Luke Cage. I think he was her love interest. I mean his love interest, the main character. I forgot his name.
Luke Cage?
Yeah, no, well, obviously, yeah. But the actor who played Luke Cage, I forgot his name, but I think she was his love interest. So there's that.
Yeah. I feel like I was kind of surprised to not see her name pop up in more things that I would have recognized, but I mean, she has like a good filmography, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, damn, I thought I would have recognized her for more stuff. It just seems like she's such a familiar face. Like I feel like I've seen her in plenty of stuff, but based on her filmography, I have not. So I don't know.
I see she was real, I see she was pretty specific about that Northwestern shit, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, very, very specific about that.
Graduated from there, I see, huh?
Now that's relevant to the storyline later. Wood Harris is the dad of Justin. I like their dynamic. What'd you think of them as a couple?
I like them as a couple. I guess we'll explain more in detail when we actually talk about the
Storyline. Yeah,
yeah.
this is gonna be a spoiler-free thing. Well, as
What?
spoiler-free as it can be, I guess. We won't talk about,
Yeah, I'll try, but like no commitments. I'm not
yeah.
even gonna try. I'm not.
We'll announce it before we put out anything in there that could possibly spoil the series for you. But
I'm not announcing anything. So
a woman by the name, I don't know if I'm mispronouncing her name. It looks like Shosha.
Yeah,
Rockmore.
I don't know.
She plays the mother of Keisha, who is again portrayed by the main character. So yeah, getting into the actual storyline. So now that we have the key players, the people that we're regularly gonna see, we have Keisha, we have Justin, we have Dawn, who is Justin's mother, Eric, who is Justin's father, and Shelly, who is Keisha's mother. Um, Christian is a part of the storyline. We learn later who he is and who he is to the story, but those are the main players.
My nigga Christian,
Christian was portrayed by a young man by the name of Xavier Mills.
that nigga
I feel
look,
so old saying that, like young man. I don't even know how old
that
he
nigga look
is.
better with hair.
Yeah, because he looks so funny looking. When I first saw him pop up, I was like, that's a funny looking
Yeah,
kid.
that nigga look like a created 2K player. Like, that shit was crazy.
It was like, I think it was just the way his ears were sticking out or something. It just looked weird. But I hadn't seen him in much of anything.
How old is that nigga?
I do not know. And funny enough, like
Cause he look
usually,
old as fuck.
because usually it'll say like age, like, oh shit, okay. I don't know if that's him though. There is a young man by the name of excuse me, Xavier Mills that went to Winston-Salem State. Um, so I don't know if that's actually him. What are you trying to do here?
Click on the link. I mean, you can just see real quick.
Jeez Louise, like, yeah, it is one and the same.
Voila.
That's great. Okay, so shout out to Winston-Salem State. Now I really got to find out his age because now I'm wondering if my sister went to school with him.
Jesus.
I'm about to look up the age. Calm down.
It's
Like,
literally right there.
oh, where you see that? It doesn't say that. Where does it say it?
You got to click on it. You got to click on it. You got to click on it.
When I could just click, no. Usually I could
Right
just
there,
click.
it's the same link. The exact same
Calm
link.
down, calm down. I don't know who
Not
you talking
somebody.
to. No, it's not even about that.
That nigga 30.
Oh, he's 30.
I kind of figured that. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like when I saw him, like, that nigga old. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like you can show your face and shit, but cut your hair, but
yeah.
still.
I always feel kind of weird about these because it's like, yeah, I know they're technically adults, but I do not like it when they have like I just remember feeling awkward on the Shy when the kids started growing up and then they started having sex and shit. Like that was weird to me because
Mm,
it's like I still see them as children, even though all of them by that point were of age. But yeah, as far as stuff that was going on in here, I was like I know
you
that
mean of age,
like I know that the actors are of age, they're adults, but they're playing minors. So it's like watching minors, people that are portraying minors have sex is still weird to me.
I mean, the fact that they're of age doesn't really make a difference for me here. It's just one of those things where like the character is underage, so I'm like, oh, this is a little weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like it's hard making that distinction, I guess, like in my mind, because it's still like, oh, like
Someone's a
I
pedophile.
don't know. It's just weird. I don't, it makes me feel icky. Any case, all right, so we got the main players. And so yeah, definitely gave this one a shot. Certainly binge worthy, especially if you're recovering from a cold. Or just have nothing else to do on a Saturday afternoon. I think it was about 8 episodes.
Hmm.
Um, sounds about right. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
But
a little bit more. I don't
but
know.
it was definitely a great series to watch. So it opens up with I think we see
We see
it's New Year's Eve.
yeah,
Justin's family. I think we're introduced to
Justin's
Justin's
family.
family
The
first.
main character, Justin, wants to go to a party that one of his homeboys is has been invited to, And so the parents, you see their dynamic first in terms of like parenting as the mother is like absolutely not. And the father's like, well, hold on, chill out for a little bit, please. It is New Year's Eve. So if you could just go ahead and go and, just let us know when you're gonna be there and be safe, go right ahead. Mother was, nope, police are out there. He's black, absolutely not. Father was like,
But also too, to her defense, they were asking him basic questions about the party and he could not answer them. Like,
a 17-year-old kid.
yeah, but that's a problem. Like you need to be aware of your surroundings, and that's kind of like this is important to me because it sets up the theme for what we expect from Justin, and like how we see his growth. But really, it's just a matter of like he's not very responsible. Like, I mean, yes, he's a teenage boy, but you should be able to say, okay, who's gonna be there? When are you coming back? Where is it? Not like that was a basic question. The fact that he didn't know where it was, he was just like, oh, so and so is throwing the party. No, that's not okay.
Got a homie gonna pick me up. So you come.
No, 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 sir. That's not how that works at all, So that was it really setting up like this kind of carefree position from him where he just had no worries, like, and that's just not taking shit serious. So, but the father was definitely trying to instill in him some like, you know, not treating him like a baby, letting him grow up. You have to give responsibility for people to be responsible, which is fair too. Teenage kids, because like, how can they learn how to do things for themselves if you don't let them do anything? So
Yeah,
that was fair.
yeah. So he goes to a party, pretty much throwing my white people.
And his
And
dad gives him that spiel too, like, nigga, white
uh,
girls get to drinking.
yeah,
Get your ass up out of there.
yeah, and be yourself. Don't fall into the games the white people play. Me going to a PWI, I totally understand where it's coming from with that shit. So, white people do have a tendency of like getting drunk and doing some of the dumbest shit you would ever imagine. So with that said,
And then
don't follow
don't
the crowd.
claim not to remember the next day.
Yeah,
That's a dangerous game.
and I'm pretty successful about it for the most part. But anyway, so he gives them that whole spiel, like just follow your own mind, don't be a fucking follower, and you know,
Have a good time,
have a good
but be
time
safe.
basically. So he gets there, white people there, of course. In walks his love interest. Well, at first it wasn't obviously. Keisha. Keisha, she used to go to the school that
The host attends.
yeah. And so she walks in, sees Justin, the only other black guy there. I think there's maybe one other
Pretty
black guy
much.
that
Pretty
was
that Justin
Justin.
came with.
Yeah. So at this point, she's like, "Oh, don't I know you?" And then he's like, "Don't know you. Sorry." She was like, "Nah, we went to elementary school together." And then he was like, "Oh shit, Keisha? Yeah, I'm Keisha." He was like, "How you been?" And then she asked some questions. Hopefully that he remembered, and for the most part,
Still was not ringing the bell for his
yeah,
ass, which is crazy to me because you would think as like if one of the few black kids that kind of had your school career with, like you would remember all the black kids you were friends with and that your family was friends with, that your family actually remembered. Because we later learned like the mom knows exactly who she is. She didn't have to be reminded of shit. So it's just
that
like,
shit was weird though.
yeah, but it's like if but that goes to show though how small their community of black people is. Like, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
damn, your community's that small that you remember the black kid or black girl
That
that
your
your
son
son
went
went
to
to
school
elementary school with.
like a hot minute ago. That's crazy work.
Yeah, like so at this point they're supposed to be like 16, 17
When
years
you see
old.
some more black people in your immediate circle, like
Right.
that's crazy. Like, but anyway though, so like they reconnect, um, vibing at the party and whatnot. You
Walking
know,
down memory
walking
lane.
down memory lane, and they ended up spending some time together. Getting a kiss of each other, and made plans to meet the next day. Here is when the next
I did
day,
not see it going this way at
yeah,
all.
yeah, next day's date kind of gave a sneak peek at the conflict here. Apparently, during the movie, they went to a movie and Keisha really liked Justin here, so she wanted to show her gratitude of I guess liking the nigga.
Yeah.
And so she was gonna basically suck his dick in the movie theater. And bro was like, whoa. Like, are you trying to just suck my dick because I bought you some stuff here?
We've already established at this point too that Justin is a virgin.
Yeah.
We have this confirmed.
And so, he asked her, you trying to suck my dick because I just bought you some shit here? Like, bro, it's cool. You don't even gotta do that shit. And she gets all upset and shit. Was like, I'm leaving. And he was like, what the fuck? And so,
As were we, because we were like, why is she so
yeah,
mad?
why? What's going on with you? Like, you got some like inner shit you need to figure out, like before
But
you start
also too,
dating.
like,
Like,
why is she, so determined? Like, girl, just because you like this dude
you
doesn't
ain't gotta
mean
suck
that
a
you,
dick and shit, nigga. Like, fuck the
yeah,
fuck. I mean, like,
like
even like I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Like, that was weird. And I think it was weird for him too. Like, regardless of like what he bought you or not, I don't even give a fuck. Like, it just seemed weird. Like, why are you doing this right now, today, here? Like, are you okay? Like, we have questions now. Like, you going around sucking dick because you like a nigga? Like, what the fuck going on here? But anyway, um, so he's like, no, chill out, you know what I mean? Like, like I bought you this shit. It's cool, bro. You know what I mean? She was like, nah, like I'm leaving. And he was like, the fuck? Like, she stormed out out of the movie theater, and he was just like, hey, I know you hear me? Like, nigga, I'm right here. I'm behind you. What's going on? And then she was like, I don't want to talk, and if you
she
continue to,
she asked him at this point, she asked him though, what do you know? Like
yeah, I said, what you
what
know about me?
like did people tell you what happened?
And then
Because
he was like,
she's going out, like she's referencing the party and alluding to the fact that people are whispering things about her
yeah,
that he might have been privy to at this point. So he's just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
not at all. I mean, if I had to guess, I mean, I would imagine that you sucking dick because, like, the fuck, like, they bang. Anyway, um, so I would imagine that laugh. So you're not laughing. You're not
Oh, you gotta
laughing.
be funny.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't nobody tell me nothing. And then she was like, "You seen the video?" And he was like, "Nigga, what video? Like, fuck, why are you yelling right now? First of all, like, second of all, nigga, what video? Like, calm your ass down." And he was like, "Nah, like, what video, nigga?" And then she was like, "Okay, so you just want to play games and shit." And he was like, "Nigga, what?" Like, confused and shit. Everybody was confused. I was confused. And so she was like, "I'm leaving." And if you try to stop me, I'm gonna scream. And I was like, "Oh, you crazy, my
Yeah,
nigga!" Like,
that was really odd. Honestly, what's crazy is I, in retrospect, I didn't think about it like this at the time, but that's giving. I've been hanging around white people too long.
yeah.
Because when I think of alligator tears, I certainly think of white people. That's like in their arsenal, especially white women. They love to like scream or cry and invoke like empathy or whatever. And then it's just like, yeah, that's why black people end up getting the police called on them because they weaponize those tears. And I was just like, girl, like,
Man, keep
although that, that could work for her as a woman, like that's a form of manipulation ultimately. And
yeah.
I'm like, "Ooh, girl, you must have learned that from your friend Chloe, who we
Nah,
meet. We saw at the party, but we see how integral she is as part of her life later too. But
I mean, if I was 17-year-old Justin, that show would have ended right there. Because I'd have been like, oh, okay. You have a good one. I've got to go.
yeah,
Then I'm gonna block the fuck out of that nigga on social media and my phone number.
yeah.
And move on about life because that nigga crazy. And as a father, if my son would have came home and told me, saying some shit like that, I'm like, oh, bro, like just giving you advice here. Don't think you need to go on a second date with that. Probably should just go cut your losses. What do you say? Your son come
Yeah, I
home?
don't think I mean if he had disclosed that to me from day one, like that date went so poorly, I'm sure he would have left out the part. I don't expect my kid to tell me that, oh, well, she approached me, with sex or whatever.
Nah, nah,
I don't expect him to do that.
nah. You can't. See, you can't say it like that. You, son comes home. Hey, I said this one on a date. I said some girl tried to give me slap top, but I said no. And then she went off on me and shit.
I
And
mean, I if he did throw that in there, then cool. But like, I'm not gonna get all squeamish about it. But what I'm saying is, I just wouldn't expect most boys to disclose that much information to their mother. I would just expect him to leave some of those details out. But whatever, if
so do you
he,
want me to tell you or no?
I don't think so. Just because, like, at the end of the day, the date still went poorly. So even without that detail, it still sounds crazy.
So you don't want details.
I don't need that much detail. I need relevant details. Like,
Pretty relevant.
I don't think so because ultimately, look, what we have here at the root of what happened, we have a failure to communicate. There's a lot of assumptions going on, mainly from her side to
Right, to
his.
communicate.
Yeah, and
And, and
that's why it wouldn't work out. Like
that nigga
that's
try to get a nigga's laptop like on like the first date,
because
son,
she
because she liked
assumed,
him.
right, also too, like
So
that.
so now we have questions.
So she's moving too fast. Like, why would you want to be with somebody that's moving that fast? Like,
Is that
it
not
does,
relevant? That's what I'm saying.
it is, but there's also trauma there too. There's enough trauma where it's like long term,
I
the
mean,
issue is gonna be.
I mean, we wish Keisha the best on that trauma shit, but like, fuck you
I
want us to do about it? Like, I don't understand it.
I didn't say it would be my responsibility to tell him to do something about it. I'm just saying that that's to me the more concerning thing is because they're at the end of the day they're fucking teenagers. They have hormones and they are going to be sexual people.
So you would give him slap top and shit to a nigga that you didn't see in
I
the
didn't
last 10 years.
I didn't say that. But what I'm saying is, as far as building a relationship with this girl, the more concerning thing is that she's moving off of assumptions, and there's clearly some sort of trauma there because number one, she thought enough to like try to move so quickly. Number two, she also didn't
Like, it was so quick,
she
like,
also started like weaponizing the tears like that kind of manipulation and shit like that like that might not be something I would think my son who just on New Year's Eve was asking for permission to go to a party but couldn't answer basic questions about the party would be equipped enough to handle a relationship with that type of person. That is all I'm saying.
agreed.
So I would not encourage my son to go out on another date with her. No,
Exactly. So I'm saying the show to end it right the fuck there.
exactly.
But nonetheless, he is, I guess,
Moved. He's still intrigued.
yeah,
He wants to know more.
by Keisha.
He's like,
You gotta put it on all
I gotta know.
platforms.
And he's also there's also like a driving factor of like people pleasing. There's like a whole theme of people pleasing here on both sides. But
I mean, they kids and shit. They trying to live up to the
yeah.
expectations of people.
Yeah.
Have
But his mom
bestowed upon
definitely
them.
made it very clear that she was excited that he was finally dating a black girl.
Like the fact that they knew her name from like 10 years ago. You
First
mean
day and last name.
you
She
mean
was
Keisha Clark from
yeah,
JPD? Like what
yeah,
the fuck?
yeah.
How do you know this as an
Very
adult, nigga?
specific. Very specific.
So yeah, that shit was crazy. But anyway, so he, tries everything in his power to, say to talk to her. He ends up ditching school, you know, and pretty much going to her school. And
No, he was like taking driver's ed.
that's true. That's true. Well, I thought he took half a day or some shit because he like emailed from Mom Duke's computer or some shit, right?
Yeah,
Some weird shit
there
like
was
that.
like there was like a like we might have like some of the events mixed up. No, I think that was like on their second swing where they couldn't communicate. That was after he got her back. So the short of why she was acting weird, eventually he learns that she was acting all weird because of a sex tape. And that's
She
what
was giving
happened.
sloppy top. She was
He
giving sloppy top,
he
and
found out from his friend. That's
Yeah.
what happened. And so he went,
He said the friend sent the video to him
yeah,
about her giving sloppy top.
and yeah,
So
to
again,
her
hold
ex-boyfriend Christian.
maybe. So again, we have more questions. More questions that need answers.
Yeah, so now we're starting to see like, okay, she's more experienced than Justin for sure.
So with all that said, your son come to you with all that. Son, you need to sit this one out. Like, yeah, you gonna hold you. Sit this one out.
I don't think
Tell-
he was equipped for this, but nonetheless, they persisted and he was very persistent. And
yeah.
so once he learned about this, he was not judgmental at all. He still wanted to get to know her. He basically told her like, "Hey, I really still like you. I want to get to know you. I was enjoying spending time with you. I did find out about that shit like after our date or whatever, but we learned that this was like the New Year's Eve party that Keisha went to was like her first outing since this whole incident happened. She had transferred schools because of all the drama associated with it. And yeah, she was just trying to get a fresh start. And her whole dream is to go to Howard. So she's kind of having like this whole escapism thing where she's trying to move far away and just start over. And she really, really wants to go to Howard and be a track star, but also because her mother is not as affluent as Justin's parents are, she needs to do this on a full scholarship. But she's very serious. She like very juxtaposed to Justin. Like by comparison, she is a serious student. Um, you know,
Serious student athlete.
everything.
Nigga waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go on run and
Yeah.
shit.
And
Absolutely
like
not.
testing comes easy to her. She doesn't struggle in school. She has great grades. Um, yeah, like everybody that runs into her, like if they hadn't seen her in a long time, including Jess's mother, is on some shit like, girl, like you still getting straight A's because like that's how they remember her. They remember her as the good student. And so yeah, she's a
Overachiever.
she's an overachiever.
So yeah, so with that said, keep it going with the storyline here. So, Justin does everything he can to talk to her. He ends up talking to her at her school. And they rekindle, basically. So she unblocks him and shit, and they talk, blah, 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 blah. And don't he do some weird shit?
He ended up getting his device repossessed. Like his mom revokes his ability to get a device. I don't know if it was something with his grades or something that he did with Keisha when he had no business
I could have sworn
going to
that
her.
he forged her like he like used her
Oh,
email and
to
shit.
leave school early. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He forged, yeah. So apparently this
So
is all in 2017 as well.
yeah,
So like they made sure to like, I guess because now that we learned season two is coming, I guess they want to have them playing their closer to their actual age. So they'll be like 18, 19, 20, whatever, by the time season two rolls around. So we'll see.
yeah. So with that said, Mom Dukes takes the phone and Keisha's, she's left on pause basically because she's like, low key, I really like you. I've been liked you. And he was about to text back, but Mom Dukes is like, go ahead, hand me that
Yoink.
phone. So you on that bullshit type of time. So she take the phone from him and shit. And, she was like, when you want to do your homework, don't even use our personal computer. You can use my shit. So gave him that old ass Apple laptop and shit.
But in an interesting series of events, he rediscovers one of his old passions, which was making beats.
Yeah. So he starts making beats and shit, so during the spare time. Any
But yeah, he's on punishment, so he can't communicate with her.
so
And so she's left on red, and so she's like, fuck this shit.
as
Like, never
another
mind.
yeah,
Like
never mind, nigga playing games.
another breakdown in communication here.
So she blocked him again. So if you count now, um, has a major episode at the movie theaters. Try to give sloppy top. after this re-meeting this nigga from the last 10 years, has a sex tape out. Um, that's about three or four things right there. And like the nigga, I don't know. Just in my mind, if I was Justin, I'd have been like, okay, because he get his cell phone back once he tells Mom Dukes that he's trying to talk to Keisha Clark from JTD.
Right.
And they're like, oh, she's black. Yeah, have your phone back. What the fuck? Like, shit was crazy. Like, you need to meet more people, my nigga. Like, more black people. That's crazy work.
They trying to keep that wealth in the community. I don't
Yeah.
blame them.
I mean, I feel you, but like, you don't know nobody else black? Like, nobody else, nigga? Like, that shit crazy. But anyway, though, so they like, oh, go ahead and go talk to her. Go get your girl, big dog. And
That's what the daddy say, yeah.
yeah, and so he get his phone all happy and shit, and so he about to text her. He looked on Instagram to see if he was blocked. Sure
Mm-hmm.
enough, he was, and so he was. I'm gonna go ahead and give her a call just explain things. Unfortunately, he could not because
Straight to voicemail.
he was blocked on that shit too. So with that said, at this point, I'd have been like, okay, this nigga crazy. I'm gonna have to stop. Like, I wish you luck, But he was like, nope. I gotta explain to her what happened because she blocked me again, without cause, I guess, at this point, which would be a valid way of putting that. So at this point, he sees her.
Yeah, by this point, this was by chance. He happened to
Yeah,
be taking driver's ed, and he spots her at the baseball field where a man who is taking care of he's actually her grandfather,
yeah,
her paternal grandfather. But she doesn't call him grandpa or pop. She just calls him by his first name. His name is George.
yeah.
And so George is like the coach of his brother's little league team or something like that. Like the brother plays baseball.
That was a crazy little like
Yeah.
introduction to the brother though, because like the whole time like
Yeah,
shit
we thought
happened,
Justin was the only child, right?
I thought he was the only kid, and then they were like, oh, so we're gonna so we're gonna go see Justin, play ball. I'm like, who the fuck is? I mean, not Justin, but Jaden. We're gonna go see Jaden play ball. Who the fuck is Jaden, nigga? Like,
Right. I thought Justin was the only athlete in the family, the only child, the only athlete.
I
He
thought
plays
so too.
basketball, and that's it. But no, we learned that Justin has a little brother named Jaden.
Yeah, I could have had that little nigga around the house and shit doing some of them scenes though before. Like, sweet Jesus, nigga. Like,
Yeah, it just seemed like an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, like let's insert him here. Little brother, typical little brother.
yeah,
So they have a conversation and clear up some of the misunderstandings and decide to hang out some more.
18 minutes.
And they are, please, please, I don't care.
Okay, maybe America does.
Oh my God. Well, by this time, it's not going to be 18 minutes. By the time they hear this, it won't be 18 minutes.
But they can still understand, my excitement
Oh my gosh. Okay.
and sharing it.
Now that you've gotten it out, Lil Wayne, we're not talking about him no more.
Continue.
Thanks. All right. So they clear up the misunderstanding and they decide to, get together, hang out, continue getting to know each other. Of course, there's resistance from her end, and he convinces her to give it another shot.
For the second time.
And they do.
Hell no.
They do.
And she was throwing mad static and shit. While he was trying to talk to her and shit. Like, nigga, what the fuck wrong with you? I just told your weird ass, like, Mom Dukes had my phone. I couldn't text you, nigga. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, she was like, nah, nigga, you lying, like, the fuck would I lie for, nigga? Like, nigga, I'm 17. What the fuck would you expect? Like, then he told her, I basically lied to her, so I can come see you. And then she was like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll unblock you. Crazy. At that point, like, fuck that shit. But, whatever. Continue.
I would have had you sprung like that too. Get out of here. You would have been looking for me at the baseball field
Don't let me tell
and
people
in
how we met.
daytime with a flashlight.
Don't let me tell people how we met.
You could tell the people how we met.
Boom. So it was Modesto,
Okay.
California.
All right. So moving on.
Fuck.
I thought you were gonna be serious.
I am serious.
No, you're not.
Wow.
No, you're not. Um, so they decide to go on they start dating. Everything's going pretty well. I don't oh, so of course she talks to him about the sex tape and we learn about Christian. Now, eventually Christian comes back into the picture and he is apologizing and trying to get in Keisha's good graces.
Fuck that shit.
Mm.
Like you do put too much work in, bitch.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, girl, you blocked Justin for less. I don't understand how Christian wasn't blocked, but Christian is the golden child that her mother likes. Like her mother is like
Yeah,
the way that
yeah.
Justin's mother looks at Keisha is the way that Keisha's mother looks at Christian. Okay, so
The next LeBron James.
yeah,
That's
this
that shit
nigga,
called.
yeah, that's basically, yep. We learned that her cousins are, basically like groupies. And they want to, be on Real Housewives, Basketball Housewives, or whatever the fuck, and be a part of that community
That's so
because,
fabulous.
yeah, because they're like, oh, Keisha about
Niggas
to,
pulled up in a 300C with the rims on that bitch. So you knew what time it was.
yeah,
Anyway, continue.
yeah. So they are kind of counting as Keisha as like the ticket up out of wherever they live in
Which is crazy,
Compton.
but
I think they live in Compton. And the only reason I said that is because I saw Slauson. So I feel like she's supposed to be from Compton. Whereas Justin definitely doesn't live in Compton. He lives like somewhere in the hills.
Baldwin Hills.
Sure, he probably does actually. But that house was really, really big. It didn't look
Yeah,
that
nah,
old.
hell
So
nah.
it might not be Baldwin Hills. It might be something a newer community than Baldwin Hills, but affluent black people nonetheless.
But
Definitely.
was it though?
What?
Like, you think they lived around other black people?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so
No,
either.
I'm saying affluent black people is their family. That's it. Like
Yeah,
I didn't get the sense that their neighbors were black too. No.
nah, me either. So yeah, so they go around and shit, and Christian shows the fuck up, and he's like, "Hey, Keisha, can I talk to you?" And Keisha here didn't want to really talk to Christian apparently, but she didn't want her mom to know there was a sex tape out,
Right.
about her.
Mother's
So
completely in the dark about this. George is in the dark. Her cousins are in the dark. Nobody fucking knows about the sex tape except her old classmates
and Justin apparently,
and Justin, right?
and a few niggas at the
And all
school.
all the people at school.
So yeah,
Um,
yeah. So yeah, so she goes to talk to him, and he's like, I'm sorry, I don't even know why I said that shit to my homie for. And she was like, "But you did though, but you did, So I don't want nothing to do with you." And so by that time, Justin feels some type of way because Justin's like, "This is the same nigga that got them released sex tape on you and shit, and you got to go talk to this nigga, get the fuck out of here." And so he was like, "Man, let's go. We're leaving." And so they get in the car and shit. Marty's like, "You okay?" And saying you seem upset and shit that she went to go talk to Christian. And he's like, "Don't worry about it."
Why was Keisha doing community service? Like
Yeah. So speaking about that, she got into a fight at school with one of the
that's right.
girls
That's
because
what
one
it
of the
was.
girls doing like they were all like runners
Yeah,
apparently,
doing at a track
and
practice.
she had like did some kind of Nike workout with Christian here.
That's later though. That's later.
No, I'm talking about the
Oh,
girl
the
she got to fight.
classmate?
Yeah, she got to
Okay,
fight with.
okay.
She did some kind of Nike workout with Christian, and she was like, "Oh, so that's my boo now." So
Yeah,
don't.
tell him to call me and all this other shit.
So she got upset.
Being
Keisha got
messy.
upset and shit, and trying to fight her, and so school was like, "You doing community service like this motherfucker." So yeah. Anyway, so Justin gets upset and he blocks her this time.
Yep.
And so now it's her time to go chase his ass. And so she conjures up this deal, so I'm gonna go back to my old school where Christian attends and is a star player. And Justin, his team is the away team, so they're going to go play Christian's
Well, this
team.
is right before that game though. Um, before that game, they met up at the baseball game. And so they were around their families. Keisha was around her mother, yes, at the baseball game because they were there to support George. And Justin was there with his mother because they were there to support Jaden. That's how we first seen Jaden because they were cheering him on. We were like, who the fuck is this kid? And so at the baseball game, they see them. Christian is interacting and trying to have a conversation with Keisha. And from Justin's perspective, they were getting way too fucking cozy for his personal comfort. And yeah, they ended up he walks off, and that's when he's like, yeah, Ma, let's be out. So the mom kind of peeps game, and she's like,
I already explained that shit.
okay, well, excuse the hell out of me. I didn't hear you explain it that way, but okay.
So we passed that now, guys. So as stated here, Justin gets upset. It's like now it's her turn to chase me. So, Justin, he don't outright block her and shit, but he giving her one-liners though. Hey, we need to talk.
I'm
No,
cool.
I'm cool. Like, she's like, is that I do
Trying
something
to
to
act
offend
like
you and shit? Nah, I'm cool. They're trying to be cool. I know how kids are and shit, trying to be cool and shit, not really
I
communicating
don't
that
think
type
kids
shit.
do that. It's not just the kids, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you do that too. So
Wow.
what?
I don't do that.
I
I'm
mean,
an over communicator, if anything.
if you, I might imagine that if you wanted to be, if we had to have an example, it would be you. Anyway, so
Wow. Okay.
with that said, Justin basically like, gives her one-liners and shit, and just not trying to really like share his feelings with her. And then she's like, okay, I gotta talk to this nigga in person because she's trying to call him and shit, and he like, nah, I'm cool. Like you can just text me and shit.
And she's definitely, going to her homegirl Chloe for advice, and
Yeah,
Chloe's encouraging her to like
talk to this guy.
talk to him,
So
go above and beyond.
yeah, so she goes to his game and shit. The same game that's at her old school, basically, that Christian is playing in, Justin's playing in. How ironic. Anyway,
Oh, and Justin definitely tried to be not Justin, excuse me. Christian was definitely being shady boots when they met at that fucking baseball game because he was like she was like, yeah, like this is Justin and he's on the team or whatever over at whatever school he go to. And Christian was like, "Oh yeah?" Like basically like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
well, to be fair though,
He
like,
had been riding the bench.
yeah, the nigga been money bitch and shit. So at this point, yeah, I can kind of understand Christian's position on that. But so Keisha goes to the game, Justin riding the bench, Christian out there killing shit. And so Justin just like look at that, Christian killing shit, look at that, say Keisha look at the game. She won't really like responding to Christian and no shit, but she was there for him. But to Justin's point, she was sitting in the home section. So he's like, damn, like Christian out here killing shit, Keisha out here rooting for this nigga and shit. Fuck that shit. I'm about to show these niggas what time it is. So he asked the coach and shit, hey, go ahead, let me get this shit. Coach like, hell nah.
Nope.
And so he like, nigga, fuck that shit. I'm about to take this opportunity.
No, that wasn't
That wasn't that game?
that wasn't that
That's even
game.
worse. So
That
with
was
that said and shit, so they get drilled. That them niggas lose like 20 or so points.
yeah.
Uh
She
but
waited for him and
she waited for the game to be over, she's like, hey Justin, what I'm saying, like I came here to talk to you. He's like, no the fuck you did. Like you came here to root this nigga on. And she was like, what fuck you mean? And he was like, nigga, you sitting in the motherfucker got them whole section. She's like, oh no, I said like my homegirl Chloe, I was just sitting with her. He's like, hell no, I can't hear that shit. And so I already got drugged by 20 points and shit. So Justin just walks off and shit.
is this relatable like relationship drama from your high school days?
Hell no.
No.
I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, like I told you, like that shit been over like
That's
first couple of scenes. Um, is it relatable drama for you? Because I feel like, what I'm saying, like with you, like where you come from, I feel like this would be
Where I
Something
come
that
from? Where do I come from?
I mean, this the whole storyline was like real suburban. So I'm just saying.
Got you. Some of it, yeah.
See,
Some of it.
because like it was giving me like Clueless vibes.
Wow,
Go ahead though.
I guess. So yeah, it's this whole series kind of just took me back down memory lane as far as that young love, that first love. Everything is so fucking intense. It's just like the older you get, the more you be like, but at that age, everything is just like really, really intense. Like everything's on 10. Like nothing seems like it's gonna be temporary,
Yeah, I seen a
And
nigga get hit by a car. Young love.
what?
So I seen a nigga get hit by a car by his girlfriend. They were like 17, 19, man.
Whoa, like no, not okay. All right, that's not what I meant, but
I'm just trying to give some examples here. I don't,
that's super, super toxic and dangerous.
I'm
But
just trying to relate. I'm sorry.
hmm.
Continue.
Well, uh, so yeah, the game is over. Justin ain't having it. His feelings are hurt. His ego is bruised. That's really what's happening here. And somehow she wins him back over because they start dating again and things are going really well. Um, but it was short-lived because Christian asked Keisha to the prom and she agreed to this shit before they decided to become quote unquote official. So now it's like an additional conflict of like, well, I don't want to raise any suspicion with my mother because if I don't go with him, then it'll seem like then she'll want to know why and what happened and why we broke up. And I'm not in a position where I feel comfortable telling her about this. And again, like Keisha's mom is a single mom,
Mm-hmm.
raising her child mostly alone. Like
And
she has a village, but
not to
it's
mention,
mostly just her.
facing eviction,
And she works at night,
but yet
multiple jobs.
bought the prom dress for Keisha. But that was also an incentive for her to go to the prom with Christian as well. So the weird is you facing eviction and you had money for the prom dress or whatever. Anyway, so like Keisha's like, hell no, I gotta go. And then Justin's like, I understand
And
it.
again, people pleasing, like you gotta
You know,
honor these commitments, even though it's not gonna make you happy. So
yeah. I mean, but that shit right there though, Mom knew she probably should have paid that rent though, of like getting that fucking dress, but whatever though. So yeah, so Keisha's like, I gotta go. I'm sorry. She explained the situation to him, I said, like, I think as an adult, I would have understood that. I'm like, that's cool, bro. Do what you gotta do, shit. I figure. I mean, I feel you and shit. But as a 17-year-old kid, I said, no, you're my girl. Like, so I could understand how Justin would be upset about that. It's like,
yeah, not to mention he's already seen like he also just doesn't understand. It's not even about him being possessive as much as it is like this nigga exposed you. Like
the fuck you wrong
Christian
with him?
ended up leaking a sex tape that didn't defend your honor or make you look like an honorable woman in any sense of the word,
Yeah.
So it's just like, why would you link up with that nigga or give him any opportunity
Yeah.
to be in your sphere again? Like, no.
So Justin's like, you know what? We're done. I'm blocking you. So he blocked her ass. Blocked her on all
Yeah,
platforms and shit. And so Keisha was miserable for like 3 months.
yeah.
Um,
Basically to the end of the school year.
yeah, where she knows that Justin and his family, they go to what's that shit?
Martha's Vineyard,
Martha's Vineyard to
outside of Boston in Massachusetts.
to connect with black people.
Well, other affluent black people, because
True.
it's not just regular
They ain't coming to
niggas.
the hood.
Is every summer Justin and his family go to Martha's Vineyard and they have their vacation home there and they spend time as a family and he named some of the hot spots that they go to. So
Keisha
Yeah,
was
she
like,
comes up with a plan with her best friend Chloe,
you know,
who is also affluent,
you
obviously,
gotta go see her auntie.
and we're gonna pull up on them.
Yeah. So
And that's what it is.
that's
That's
what
what they
she
do.
does. She ends up going to this arcade looking high and low for this nigga. Ends up seeing his brother, Jaden. Jaden's like, what the fuck are you doing here, Keisha? And she was like, oh, I'm just fucking with my friend right here. Where's Justin? And before Jaden can even answer that shit, Ma Deuce walks up. Hey, Keisha, what you doing here? She's like, oh, so I'm here with Chloe, so my friend. She's like, oh, okay.
And Chloe's people, because they're not black, stay on the whole other side of the aisle.
Yeah.
She had to take a bus and like a bike and shit to get to that
You
side.
know where I found the auntie, the white auntie of Chloe,
Yeah.
when like she was like, y'all want to go to Circuit Ave was what it was called. She said, y'all want to go to
That
Circuit
was like the
Ave?
strip.
Yeah, and she was like, she said something to the fact of, I'll take you something. It was something she said.
Did she mean like I'll take you, but I won't pick you up? Because
Nah, it was like on
I
some
could
like
imagine that.
basically like how I felt when she said that shit was like, oh, I'll teach you to see the monkeys or some shit like that. Like, fuck nigga. Like, I mean, she didn't say that shit, but it was like
Y'all want to go hang out with the niggas?
basically on that type of
Cause
shit. On that
cause
type of
black people
shit.
hang out on that side of the island.
Like, she didn't say that either, obviously, but it was something to that
Well,
effect. Like, oh, okay, like I'll teach,
in her def
like I'll show you.
in her defense though, like some people, the aunt I think was definitely more like secluded. Like she went to Martha's Vineyard for solace. Like she didn't want to be around anybody. Hence why like her place was like way out there.
She was like, "Look, I fucking love this fucking weather.
Yeah,
And I love
she
this
talked about
scenery."
loving the weather and loving being isolated and like how they grow their own groceries or grow their own vegetables and stuff like that. So I'm just like, yeah, she's really not trying to like interact. She does not give a fuck about being with people.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really what it was because it was just like, okay, especially if your niece is coming and you know that your niece um knows that you like seclusion, it's like, and you're coming to visit me, then you must be on that type of time too. So it's kind of a surprise that you want to go to Circuit Avenue, but at the same time, like, girl, again, they're teenagers. Of course, they want to be around other young people. Like, they don't want to be around your old ass the whole time that they're there.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just not what they want to do. They want to mingle and shit, and that's understandable. But yeah, Mom Duke spots her out and it's like, nope. Yeah, he's around, but he's not here. And so we flash to Justin, and Justin is still in his funk, just listening to beats in the house. He doesn't go out. Like he's there, but he's not present.
And Mom Dukes came into the room. She was about to tell him, Keisha's here, but she was like, "No, fuck that. I'm protecting my baby." So she
Yeah, she
ain't
was
tell
really
him.
on some mama bear shit the whole
She
time.
told her husband. Her husband's like, "Hell no, like I'm gonna tell him." And so, they outside playing basketball and shit. He was like, let me holler at you real quick, Justin. And then he was like,
I really
uh,
like the dynamics and the conversations that they had.
yeah, he was like, yo, Keisha's here and shit. And he was just like, just go see what she got to say, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the nigga came on with
But he
shit.
also, yes, but he also encouraged him to kind of wake up and smell the roses and like not let opportunities that are quote unquote in front of his face pass him up because there's another love interest in the picture who's a childhood friend that also comes to the Martha's Vineyard home where it's like she's essentially like the quote unquote play cousin he grew up with. Like their moms are really good friends and they're about the same age. And so they're kind of like romantically, their parents are kind of rooting for them secretly because they want to be now legally related.
Mm.
So you can kind of see they're trying to set that up, but at the same
One of the
time,
kids. But anyway,
just like not being pushy about it. They're hoping that they get together. And I forgot her name, but
yeah,
she's a homie, lover, friend, type girl. Justin asked, he's like, so what you trying to say, Dad? Like I'm supposed to date whatever her name is? And he was like, no, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like enjoy your summer kind of thing.
Yeah. So anyway, he's hanging out with the girl who they want to have, Justin date, but she said some real shit though, because Justin kept looking at his phone and shit,
Mm-hmm.
just wondering should he, talk to Keisha and whatnot. And she was like, "Hey yo, check your deleted messages." He's like, "Fuck you talking about?"
Like the ones in your trash can.
Yeah, she was like, whenever you block somebody, if they leave a message and shit, like you'll be in your deleted messages. I ain't know that shit. It's an iPhone thing apparently. Never knew that. But Justin was like, bet. And she was like, "Hey, yo, if she left a message for you and shit, unblock her and talk to her, nigga. If not, keep it pushing." And so he checked his deleted message, and sure enough, she left like tons of fucking
Several.
messages.
Like it was like writing letters.
Pretty much. Like she
Stream of
was in that bitch
consciousness.
just chilling in his inbox, basically. So
I thought that was kind of cute though, because it was
yeah,
like it read like letters, it was just like, hey, just thinking about you. And it was like a diary, she was just
yeah.
like,
Bunch of
hey, woke
detour
up
and shit.
yeah, just woke up today. I'm into this like anime that you put me on to, whatever,
Yeah,
whatever. And I'm
that
feeling
type
like this,
shit.
like she's relating to him and he's loving that shit. He is eating that bitch up.
Yeah, and so
I said, oh, she got him. She got him.
the following day he definitely unblocked her ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then she called. I know when she called, I know she was like, "Oh, this motherfucker finally ringing now." I know she got happy as hell, that motherfucker boy. So he picks up and shit, and then they talk and they meet up. It's like some Gone with the Wind type shit. One coming from one way, other one coming from another way on bicycles and shit, in a wonderful scenery, and they meet up, and they kiss each other, and they're all happy, and they start crying and shit. I missed you too.
That did remind me of like I had a boyfriend. He lived on the other side of when I was like 13 or 14. Don't laugh. But he lived on the other side of the neighborhood. So, we would get on the phone and be like, all right, I'm gonna like let's meet up. Let's meet halfway.
Hmm.
And depending on how fast you were walking, it never was exactly halfway, but that's what that was giving me because they were on the other side of the island, from apart from each other. But they linked up and yeah, it was like they just picked right back up where they left off.
Yeah, yeah,
The dad even had commented though. He was like, "Shit, if I'm going to," he was like, "I'm going to the prom with Jordan if I can." Like Mike, and he meant Michael Jordan. But I just thought that was funny when he said that, because even the dad was forgiving. He was like you gotta let the boy kind of grow up. Like heartbreak is a part of growing up.
yeah.
It's just a necessary evil. So
Pretty much. I mean, that's some real shit though. You know what I'm saying? Just telling, like, hey,
yeah,
bro, like that's just real nigga shit. Like
yeah.
he don't go through that shit. It's just what it is.
See,
Probably
it's
wasn't
like
the first time either. I mean, last time either.
I
So
liked how he talked to the mom as long as Justin wasn't around. As soon as Justin was around, like I always had a problem. Like I felt like
well,
he was on some
the
like
only thing I
he didn't
did
have
like,
united front energy, and I ain't like that shit.
the only thing I didn't like about that dynamic was is that like she would clearly like put her foot down, and he
Yeah,
would just be like, "Nah, nigga, go ahead, what you
right.
talking about?" Like that type of shit. Like y'all probably should like talk like
That's what I'm
privately
saying. Like
first.
that's not united front. Like he would, be the cool parent and like no, like it's one thing just to be like, okay,
But like ultimately, like, that's like how we operate though, because we got like a little niece and shit, and older flame, be overprotective for the flame that she is. You can't do this, and I just be like, hey, yo, no, go do that. You could. Or if it looks at me, no, I just told her no. Just like, hey, listen, you gotta let her grow up. It's okay.
yeah, okay. We going to the beach next month. We'll see how that work out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sick that
I'm gonna
day.
just I'm gonna just be quiet the whole time.
You'll be quiet
I'm
for.
gonna just be quiet. I'll be like, ask your uncle, and that'll be that.
Wow.
But yeah, so they get together. Mom is not happy about it. Not immediately happy about it anyway, just because, it's harder for her to adjust, to forgive. And then we see also too, like rewinding a little bit, we see that they actually lost their virginity to one another. We learned that Keisha actually was a virgin. Like she had some sexual experience, but
She was giving niggas sloppy top, basically.
she gave that one boy sloppy top on camera that we know of. Like you saying giving niggas, like you trying to make her seem like some sort of
I ain't say nothing. I just said she was giving niggas sloppy top. That's all I said.
niggas. No, she didn't give niggas. She gave one guy that was her boyfriend on tape
How you know that?
that we know of. How do you know that it was niggas?
How
You
you
know?
know that it wasn't?
Okay, so then, but I'm saying I'm going based on what was presented to us. You're going based on nothing.
So you said her first time you was sloppy top she gave to a nigga on camera?
What? Yes, they talk about it on the show. What are you talking about? We only have it presented with one person. That's the only thing that's confirmed. So as I was saying,
the nigga sloppy top
they
on camera
learned
first time.
they lost their virginity to
It's
one
an
another.
issue.
They lost their virginity to one another. But it was very awkward, very much like the J. Cole song.
What is that?
I never did this before. No, that one.
Damn,
Yeah.
you ain't even seen that. That's crazy work.
But you got it though, didn't you?
No, I got it because I just thought it was in my head about what you were talking about in terms
Wow.
of theme, not in terms of what you were singing.
You're welcome. Anyway,
Sound like an old nigga spiritual. Continue.
so they yeah, so when we get back to the vineyard, they decide to set something up. Justin kind of set something up for her at the family house in the barn, uh, on the property, and it's as romantical as it can be or whatever. And it's far less awkward this time. So this is where it gets awkward and icky for me, but whatever. They're being intimate, and then yeah, she starts coming back around the family. Um, they try to play it cool and play it off like they just ran into each other, but whatever, we know better. And the mother knows better because anybody with eyes is just like, girl, like whatever. This was coordinated in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, mom is not excited about it, but she's accepted it and starting to re-embrace Keisha. And as they are leaving the beach for the day and hanging out as a family and hanging out all together,
Yeah.
they run into
Zach's mom from Brookwood, where Keisha used to go to school at. And Zach's mom is like, "Oh, Justin got so big, and
volunteering all this unnecessary
look
information,
at
but
Keisha,
yeah.
she got so big too. Like I'm surprised, that she's doing okay given what happened." And mom's just like, "Fuck you mean what happened?" Like, you ain't heard? She like, nah, like, she had to switch schools and shit. Like, she was caught on camera giving sloppy top. And so the mom was like, oh, my goodness. And so the mom tells the dad, and so the dad's like, damn. So they sit Justin down and they're like, hey, listen, your girlfriend, she got a sex tape out giving sloppy top. And Justin's like, I already know that. And they were like, oh, so you still talk to her? And he was like, hell yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all taught me to look beyond that. Judge a person for who they are, not their mistakes. The parents are like, damn, he got us good.
And this is where the daddy threw in that random ass shade talking about, oh, your mom wanted to tell you about this. And
Facts.
I'm like, nigga,
That's
why would you throw her under the
That's some
bus?
shit I would have did, though. I ain't gonna hold you on that shit.
That's fucked up.
What you mean?
That's fucked up.
Somebody got to take the rap.
Hmm?
Somebody got to take the rap. Somebody got to take the rap for that. So I'd imagine.
Nobody has to take the rap. Sometimes it's not
So,
anybody's fault. It's just like
yeah. I mean,
something that happens.
ideally, yes, but kid wise, I'm not gonna understand that. So with that said, like I like listen, you take that one, I'll take the next one.
Yeah, no, that's not how that works at all.
I mean, it could, but you just resisting. So anyway, um, So they're like, damn, okay, cool. And so Mom Dukes is just like, hey, listen, does Keisha mom know about the sex tape? Justin was like, hell no. And then she was like, hey, listen, so you tell Keisha that either she tell her mom or I will. And at that point, I was like, yo, you violating right now, big dog. Like, I get why you saying this shit for it, but like, that ain't none of your fucking business. You need to get the fuck home.
I could see it from all sides for sure.
Hell nah, nigga.
It
Like,
definitely was overstepping,
overstepping to the max.
but at the same time, like the mother did need to know. The mother
I ain't
absolutely
saying that,
needed to
but like,
know.
I ain't saying she didn't need to know, but
And
like,
who was gonna tell her?
tell Keisha to tell her the fuck.
She been trying, like Justin has been trying to get Keisha to tell her mother for months.
uh, you got a lot going on when like you like giving demands and shit to random kids and shit, with their mothers and that whole relationship. Like, nigga, calm down. Like, why are you like this for? Like, I need you to reel
Ultimately, it was
shit.
rooted in this, which I 100% agree with, which was if it were my child, I'd want someone to tell me.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
once an adult knows, once the grown up knows and is involved in the kid shit, then there's nothing that you should know about my child that I don't know myself. And and it's like, okay, like
I mean, I
the
feel
child
you,
hasn't told you, the children haven't told you, so
but that ain't my problem.
I expect the adults to do the right thing in that situation, which is step up and deliver the bad
It
news.
takes a village and shit. Like, I don't want to be part of that village. Like, what's going on? Like,
You're not a woman, you don't get it.
I mean, no. I mean, I do get it. It's just that you overstepping your boundary right now. Like get the fuck on, little nigga. Like, bro, like, why are you like this for? Like, that's her business. Let her handle that shit how she wants to handle it. All I know, my son is happy right now. She don't seem like she giving random nigga sloppy top. You know what I mean? It seem like a one-off type of situation here. So at this point, like, just chill the fuck out, bro. Like, let her handle her own shit. So, I'm pretty sure she'll tell mom eventually. If not, well, what can you do? Not my place to tell her. So,
I think
that's how I would have left that. Huh?
I would have told. I think I would have told. I would have told. Like she said, look, I will give Keisha the opportunity to be the one to tell her first.
So you were told?
Yeah, I think I would have. I think
That's
I would have.
crazy work.
I think I would have. Hmm.
When you get older and shit, you gonna start wearing sketches and shit.
Okay. They look comfortable.
See? That's type of vibes that niggas give off to do shit like this.
Yeah, but I'll be wearing it with a Telfar bag uh like Dawn was wearing. So at least I'm gonna look fly with my shit.
You know what they say?
That's the moral of the story.
You can buy bags, but there ain't no sign so they sell swear I do that.
Anywho, so we see them we see the stress that this causes Keisha because she receives this ultimatum. She's really nervous to have this conversation with her mother,
And she flipping out.
and she does flip out. Her mother does flip out, rightfully so.
Rightfully so though. But my whole issue with the parents in this series was just like, nigga, ask the motherfucking questions, god
That's
damn
true.
it.
That's
Who,
true.
what, when, where, how. You just gave this little boy a whole fucking lecture at the beginning of this fucking series about the who, what, when, where, how, and you have done none of this shit in return. Like, nigga, ask important questions. What happened? How can I assist you? How did that make you feel? That kind of shit. Or just, who, what, when, here, simple shit. When this happened, why did
Instead of
this happen?
making assumptions,
Yeah, making
but
assumptions and giving fucking punishment. Like, god damn, nigga. Like,
yeah,
like fucking
like especially
help your kid, nigga.
when it's uncharacteristic of your child to be moving and doing certain things. Like in Keisha's case, her mother was under the assumption that the reason she needed to transfer out of the school was because of like uh microaggressions and racist white
I
people,
mean, well, that shit,
which
well,
Keisha did
that's a little
say.
different. You know, yeah, Keisha damn sure didn't help anything with that shit.
But I mean, but two things can be true though. She just said that that was the main reason that she needed to transfer out of the
Which is not
school.
fucking true. I mean, so,
But she said she was like, I was experiencing racism.
nigga, that ain't the reason why you got out of this motherfucking school though. Like you had a sex tape going on. That's why you get out the motherfucking school. Keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? That shit was like a
Yeah, it was
I,
a driving force, but I'm saying two things can be true though. Like
yeah.
it was the other shit was mounting on her, and that was maybe the straw that broke the camel's back.
I mean, well, at this point, I would imagine that since it's a free school, I'm gonna need you to ride that out. Like I said, I feel what you're saying, but you know, free school scholarship, ride that shit out. You'll be all right. So, but the whole sex tape shit, you know what I mean? Um,
She was making decisions based on partial information,
pretty
and
much.
that was unfair to
Keep
the
in
mother.
mind, mom just working 2 or 3 jobs to pay for this
Right.
goddamn school.
Yeah.
So she had a valid complaint. I can see why she'd be upset about that shit for like, nigga, you could at least tell me what the real reason why me working 2 or 3 jobs was for. So I would still did that shit. But at the end of the day though, like nigga, you can't take away my free will. You know what I'm saying? With some bullshit. And so, I feel on that shit. But again though, like, you know, obviously like
When the dust settled, she did feel bad about like she was like, why the fuck would you still go to prom with Christian? Like, like, and she was just like, yeah, because I didn't think that you would understand. That's what she was telling her. And she was just like, I fucked up because obviously, like, you felt like you couldn't come to me with this.
yeah.
Um, and I feel like I failed you. But interestingly enough, she definitely took a hard left and was like, we should fucking sue the school and Christian. And Keisha was
Yeah.
just like,
Hell no.
absolutely not. I'm
Tripping
not
out
trying
here.
to
You trying
relive
to
this shit. I want to leave this in the
re-traumatize that
past.
shit. Like, god damn, nigga, shit. Like, she was like, nah, I'm not trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
She was like, I was a willing participant.
yeah, calm your ass down. You know what I'm saying? My dude's like, no, like, this is revenge porn. Like, we better get some, you better, you know what I'm saying, hurt Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hurt you.
And he trying to go to
Kansas.
college, a
Yeah.
D1 school, and go to the league.
Yeah. So she was like, no, we gonna hurt him like he hurt you. And, Keisha was like, nah, you need to chill the fuck out, big dog. Like, you tripping right now. And so, they have a whole argument and shit. And, Keisha walks off and lives with her, you know what I'm saying, her cousins for a little bit. But Mom Dukes comes over there and is like, all right, nigga.
After having a conversation
Dawn.
with Dawn, and Dawn subtly, not so subtly, suggested therapy and how that worked wonders for her, and she was able to talk some shit out.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they rekindle and they're mother and daughter again, and all is well. And Justin and Keisha, they're planning their future,
They finally got on a smooth path. Like
hmm
everything is out in the open. They're having nice little healthy black love relationship. Um, and we learned that Keisha's dream has come true because she has got accepted into Howard. We meet her daddy, who is basically a Dominican man who is, I think, was he supposed to be still in like the minor leagues,
He no, not really in the main leagues. He was just over.
was he a photographer? Like, what was his
He
profession?
was he was overseas playing ball and shit. So never made it to the big time in the fucking Major League Baseball league. But he basically was overseas playing, which is still pretty good living and shit. They still gonna pay you and shit, my nigga. Like, but
But that decision to pursue his passion has definitely left his relationship strained with his daughter because she doesn't regularly see him. But she does have this thing where
and with
she
his fucking
takes
self,
pictures. Huh?
so and with his fucking self, he was an asshole.
Oh yeah. Well, I think what we see is like a theme of like living up to your parents' expectations because he was trying to live up to his daddy's expectations. He wanted Keisha to live up to his. Then the mother had expectations on Keisha too, and then Keisha put all of that on herself. So, it's generational. It's all linked together. And then of course we definitely know Justin, his expectations from his family are to go to Northwestern, go to a D1 school, but he is struggling academically, and then is also struggling in basketball too, because he's not getting the playtime that he needs to like really shine.
Yeah, he like his heart wasn't in that basketball shit. Don't get me wrong, he had a couple of good games and shit, but it's just one of those things, you know, like when they were in
Martha's
no,
Vineyard?
matter of fact, like the coach, the reason why the coach want to put his ass in, the coach is like, bro, you gonna hustle game to you, like you can shoot and shit. I give you that, but like nigga, basketball a lot more than that shit. You know what I mean? Like hustle plays, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Jumping down on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Grabbing loose on boards and shit. You know, rebounding, boxing out, that kind of shit. Bro didn't have none of that shit in his game. Bro just trying to shoot that bitch. It's just cool and shit, but like nigga, come on now, be for
For
real.
D1
Yeah,
levels,
for
we
D1
need
level, like
more.
we need you to do a little bit more, nigga. And he just wasn't willing to. So his heart rolling in that shit. You know, he was just doing that shit for nostalgia factor. You know, his dad, you know, played with him and shit, and you know, used to beat his ass and that shit, and so he just kept at that shit basically. But his passion was music, you know, like making beats and shit, being a producer.
Yeah.
But he, you know, it's the road less traveled. You know, it's one of those things where like, you know, there ain't no guarantee you're gonna make money off that shit. So,
Nope.
you know, niggas in your head and shit telling you that, you know, so just like that, I gotta kill my ass to college. You know, get me a regular job, chill the fuck out. So, but you know, as he's filling out college applications, you know, you know, that little voice in the back of his head, you know, nigga, you not built for this shit. Like, fuck are you gonna do? You know, saying go to Northwestern for 4 years and shit, and do what, nigga? You know, like this beat shit. You know, this music. That's what call him. And so Keisha is trying to tell him that shit. Like, listen, bro, like Northwestern, you know what I'm saying? You want to come to school with me at Howard. Like, nigga, this ain't you. This ain't what you trying to do. You know, like you make beats. That's what you do. Go make some beats, nigga.
Yeah, he definitely like had like a last minute thing where he
Moment
wanted
of
to,
clarity and shit.
yeah, where he was like, well, maybe I should come to Howard. And she was like, you could immediately see, she was like, no, because this is
Yeah.
my dream, this is my path,
This ain't your
this is
dream.
all I've been talking about.
Like,
Like,
you just thought of this shit right here.
yeah,
You know?
no, she knew that was like his attempt of like trying to hold on
Yeah. And so
to what they had, not be separated, not have to do long distance.
Justin had the moment of self-realization and just you know, just realizes that he don't want to go Howard or he don't go to Northwestern. He don't give a fuck about that shit. He trying to make beats. And so he goes home, he's like, hey, listen, let me talk to y'all, my dukes, pops. He sit him down, he like, hey, listen, did y'all go ahead and pay for that Northwest tuition yet? Northwestern tuition? They're like, no, why? He was like, I ain't going. They were like, damn. Like,
Mom is shocked.
mom is shocked. Mom is disappointed.
They had like a mixer though. Like that mixer was like his eye opener too, where because it was like a mixer where they were talking to like the dean and there were gonna be other freshman students that were just introducing themselves to the faculty. Just some real rich people shit. And every time he got asked a question from the dean, like the mom would answer for him. So it was very clear, like in that moment, that that's her dream. They ain't got shit to do with him.
Yeah,
And that shit was really hard to watch because it's just like, girl, like you don't even have any self-awareness that you're talking over him right now. Like he's not answering any questions.
yeah. So he sits him down. He's like, hey, listen, that Northwestern shit ain't gonna happen. That whole college shit may not be for me. I'm trying to make beats. And you know, he was like, I don't want to lose y'all love and respect. The father was like, you can never lose our love. And he said, shit about respect though.
Right.
And so he was like, you know, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? Like, I feel you. And so, you know, basically he's talking with Keisha and he's like, hey, listen, yo, like we going in two different paths. I'm about to start making these beats. You about to go to Howard. At this point, let's go ahead and call this shit off. And so Keisha's like, damn, like this nigga breaking up with me. And so she goes home and she cries, and Mom Dukes holds her like, that shit hurt, baby.
Yeah, yeah. That first heartbreak, that shit ain't no joke.
Yeah. And
And you
so
think like everything just seems so uncertain when that happens because it's just like, damn, like I really thought we was gonna be together forever. Like that's they keep repeating that throughout the show. Like, oh, like, are you gonna be here for me forever? You gonna love me forever? And they're like, yeah, forever, But it's like, what the fuck is forever when you're 17,
yeah,
16, 17, 18? Like everything just seems like it's so big.
yeah, understandable. So yeah, anyway, they break up, um, and they see each other one last time. They go out to dinner, and they're like,
They fast forward. This is now mind you too, like Keisha and her mom like went on vacation. She spent some time with her daddy in the DR. So like she ain't really been around that summer. And of course, and she also has to leave early to go to school so she can start training.
yeah,
Um, and so yeah, she has like kind of like an early admission program going on. So she's gonna go to school a few weeks before it even starts. So her summer is technically cut short. And she hasn't been around, but Justin has been around because that time she was staying with her cousins, she he actually got introduced to a beat maker that was like taking up space next door to her hair shop or whatever, to the cousin's hair shop.
yeah,
So he had been lurking around that space, hoping to run into Keisha, hopefully, while she was on a break and at home. And finally he got lucky. And so basically he pulled a Martha's Vineyard, but back at home
yeah.
in California. And they linked up and had dinner.
Reconnected, and they were just like, hey, hopefully we get to see each other in our future.
Yeah, they had a nice, like, very sophisticated, no animosity breakup. It was very mature for people their age. I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's where it basically ends, guys.
Until season two.
Yeah. Hopefully they rekindle and get back together. We won't know until season 2.
We won't. And I guess by that point it'll be 2020 in our storyline. I always wonder when they do stories like this, because like this is where I tapped out at Queen Sugar. As much as I really, really enjoyed that series, I stopped watching when they started talking about COVID. I noticed like the shows that I enjoyed didn't have COVID as a storyline
Hmm.
because it was just like unless it was like maybe like for a sitcom like 30 minutes and it's one episode of COVID, but after that we're moving on. But if there's like a series leading up to stuff that's going on in COVID, I felt kind of like re-traumatized by it, so I didn't really enjoy watching it. Especially with Queen Sugar because it was like a year delay, I think, a year or two delayed after it happened. So it was just like,
Hmm.
I don't want to watch this shit. I don't want to think about COVID. I wanted to make it as distant a memory as possible. So yeah, I think in their timeline is 2019 when they walk away from each other and they're graduating
Yeah.
because it was like right before COVID. I remember thinking, y'all don't know what's coming. So I wonder though, when 2020 comes, if that's gonna maybe be a reason that she comes back home because they're gonna kick people out of school and make them do remote learning. Like what does that look like?
Yeah.
Or they're gonna act like COVID didn't exist in their world. I don't know.
Hmm. All questions. All good questions.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Um, but yeah.
See?
Anybody you could relate to the most?
No, not really.
Do you recognize any of these people, like as far as people you knew in real life, like or went to school with, where it's like it could be physical features, I guess, or it can be just personality. Like even elements with Chloe, I don't know. Like, because Chloe, I feel like every once in a while she gave some pretty good advice, even though she was a little flighty. But I liked how supportive she was, and Keisha was equally supportive of her. It wasn't a one-way street either.
Yeah, no.
No. Okay. Yeah, I like George's character. Um Pop Pop.
Whereby, yeah.
Yeah, so but yeah, overall, great series.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I really enjoyed it.
Will recommend.
So yeah, forever, forever, ever.
Yeah.
All right, so we will see you guys next week. Like I said, we're going to be talking about more seasoned relationships through the comedic stylings of, I forget his name, I'm so sorry, but I know that it's presented by Ali Sadiq.
Boo.
I do like Ali Sadiq. You like Ali Sadiq too, don't do that. But yeah, this is a guy that he's propped up and has
Boo.
highlighted some of his work. So it should be good stuff. So yeah, I look forward to discussing it with you guys next
Tomatoes.
week. I haven't finished watching it yet, so don't bias my opinion, please.
Should be showing up to have your own opinion.
I will be, but don't be rude. Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Wheezy, bitch.
Oh God.